Hello, neighbors, and welcome back to the neighborhood. I'm Squealer D, and I am back again. And this time, we are learning about a margin account on Investopedia in our stock market learning series. That's right, my friends. If this is your first time, we have an entire series. This is day 35. So there are like 34 or 36 series. Some of them are doubles, guys. I do know how to count. There are like 36 videos before this one, my friends. So, or 36 if you want to learn about the stock market and how to trade, and you're older or you're younger or you're middle-aged, who cares how old you are? Jump on this series. You can go look in the playlist and find all of the old videos, and you're catch up to where we're at. And within a year, my goal is to be trading profitably on the stock market. So, if you have a little bit of time, which I know we all do, guys. Everybody's busy, but everybody goes to the bathroom. And when you have nothing to do and you're sitting on the toilet, you turn on my playlist and you learn about all of these things we're learning about. And that accumulated knowledge, I can't talk. That accumulated knowledge over a certain amount of time is going to help you learn. So the more you hear it, the better it is. Like I said, turn it on while you're taking knowledge over a certain amount while you're taking your time in the bathroom. Some people take longer than others. And when you're in the bathroom, like I said, turn it on. Hey, while you're sometimes in the bathroom, I play click games. That's right. It helps. It helps. Take your mind off things. Click games. But what is better than click games? Learning about a margin account. Did you know what a margin account is? Well, if you've listened to this today, you will know what a margin account is. And guys, it's pretty exciting. It is something that allows you to do something very great with money. That's right. How many things in your life do you learn about that allow you to do great things with money? Probably not very many. So, allow today, my friends, very great with money. Hello, neighbor. Welcome, my friend. It is so great to see you. You made me smile really hard this morning. Look at it. Look at this smile. It won't come off my face. Neighbor. So, guys, my friend, today it is not a coffee day. You made me smile. I have decided that coffee has defeated me. That's right. I don't know how to make coffee, guys. And I decided that I don't like drip coffee. Drip coffee is too weak for me. I need the strong stuff. I need espressos and cappuccinos and anything that has like shots of drip coffee. Coffee that is very, very, very strong. So, espressos in order to forgo nasty coffee shots. I'm having tea this morning. It is Earl Grey, which it's a little bit strong, guys. Earl Grey got a weird punch to it. It's kind of weird. And I think that my tea is expired. Guys, what happens when you drink expired tea? Am I going to like shrivel up? Am I going to get sick? I think my tea's expired. It's kind of weird. I think it expired in March. My tea is what happens if you drink expired tea? Guys, what happens when you drink As I drink expired tea, because I'm still going to drink it and I get sick. I think my tea's expired. It's kind of weird. I think it expired. I mean, it's tea. It can't go too bad, right? So, today, my friends, we are going to learn. Still going to drink it. Let me turn this off. I don't know why that's always playing in the background. Sorry if you had an echo. There is no more echo now. We're good to go, guys. And we're going to learn about margin accounts. Definition, how it works, and an example. And trust me, guys, a margin account is something you want to know about. It's money, guys. It's money, money, money. What is a margin account? Oh. We got to tell who it's by. This is by Corey Mitchell, guys. Corey Mitchell worked hard on this article. It was updated November 12th of 2021. Gordon Scott reviewed it. He got 20 years as an analyst. And it was fact-checked by Yarlette Perez. Yarlette is pretty. Look at her. She's a pretty gal. She looks young, too. Good job for her to be fact-checking people. Corey Mitchell. He's been a professional day and swing trader since 2005. That means he went through the 2008 money thing, which means he probably knows what he's talking about, guys. He saw the stock goes up. He's seen them go down. He's seen them all around. So let's us learn what a margin account is, friends. I'm serious. You really want to know this one. So the term margin account refers to a brokerage account in which a trader, broker, dealer lends them cash to purchase stocks or other financial products. You see that right off the bat, they answered that, guys. This is where the dealer or the broker lends you cash so that you can purchase stocks or other financial products at a higher rate. So if you only had $2,500 to put in your account, they could match that with another $2,500 and you would have $5,000 to purchase stocks, which means, yes, you would have to pay that $2,500 back and probably some interest. But if you made a good enough financial decision, you could have made $5,000 off of your $2,500 and gave theirs back to them. See, you come out more. A margin account lets you make more. The margin account and the securities held within it are used as collateral for the loan. It comes with a periodic interest rate that then, and don't be like, they're not going to give me a loan. It's not the same as regular loans. Calm down. Listen to the rest of the story before you judge, okay? This is not a bank loan for your home or for a car. This is a different type of loan. So follow along and don't get discouraged. Even if you think you are the scourge of the earth with money, do not leave. There are ways that even the scourge of the earth can come up and stop making money and start making money and stop being the scourge. Okay? So keep listening. It comes with a periodic interest rate that the investor must pay to keep it active. Okay? Borrowing money from a broker, and that, guys, could be paid with money that you're making off of the stock market. You don't have to like work a job to pay your interest back. You could work the job of selling stocks, right? Okay, hopefully it's gone now, Wormy. Let me know if it's gone because I turned that off, so hopefully we don't have any other echo. Nothing else on, nothing else playing. Let me see. Okay, we're looking good. I think I turned the echo off. So sorry. Bread, thank you. You got to watch me, guys. At least it's a double voice. Let me tell you what I did the first 4 times that I recorded these money talks. I recorded the money talk the entire hour with no voice, guys. I did not turn on my microphone, and I just talk, and there was no voice. So I had to delete them. So at least we have voice. Double voice is better than no voice, but we're getting better, guys. I'm going to get better at this. So borrowing money from a broker-dealer through a margin account allows investors to increase their purchasing and trading power. Investing with margin accounts means using leverage, which increases the chance of magnifying an investor's profits and losses. The key takeaways of today will be a margin account allows a trader to borrow funds from a broker and not need to put up the entire value of a trade. A margin account typically allows a trader to trade other financial products, such as futures and options, if approved and available with that broker, as well as stocks. Margin increases the profit and loss potential of the trader's capital. When trading stocks, a margin fee or interest is charged on borrowed funds. So, how a margin account works. If an investor purchases securities, which are stocks, guys, with margin funds, and those securities appreciate in value beyond the interest rate charged on the funds, the investor will earn a better total return than if they had only purchased securities with their own cash. This is the advantage of using margin funds. On the downside, the brokerage firm charges interest on the margin funds for as long as the loan is outstanding, increasing the investor's cost of buying the securities. If the securities decline in value, the investor will be underwater and will have to pay interest to the broker on top of that. If a margin account's equity drops below the maintenance margin level, the brokerage firm will make a margin call to the investor within a specified number of days, typically within 3 days, although in some situations it may be less. The investor must deposit more cash or sell some of the stock to offset all of the portion of the difference between the security's price and maintenance margin. So those are safety guards, guys. Let's say you borrow the money. Let's do what I said first, $2,500. You have $2,500. You get a margin of $2,500. That gives you $5,000. Let's say you buy some stock and the price goes down Instead of going up, you made a bad decision and the price goes down. So now you're underwater. You do not have enough money to sell that and give back the $2,500. And your money, the amount, has dropped below a maintenance margin level, which is a level that they set. So maybe it drops down to $3,000, meaning you only have $500 left of their margin money. So the brokerage will make a margin call. That means they'll call you and tell you, hey, you're below your margin, your margin maintenance, and you need to make a payment. And so they'll give you 3 days to get that money back up to $5,000. So, my friends, do not do this unless you have the money for that margin call. So you still need to have a little bit of money in a security account, a bank account, savings account to cover your margin call if you were to use a margin. So, the investor must deposit more cash or sell some stock to offset all or a portion of the difference between the security's price and the maintenance margin. A brokerage firm has the right to ask a customer to increase the amount of capital they have in a margin account, sell the investor's securities if the broker feels their own funds are at risk, or sue the investor if they do not fulfill a margin call, or if they're carrying a negative balance in their account. The investor, and guys, it may seem really mean, but this is a bank, guys. This is money. They did the Buttonwood Agreement in 1892 to ensure that people are not going to be ripping them off. So the margin call, the maintenance margin, all of those things are to ensure that the people loaning you money, the people at the top, stay at the top. So the investor has the potential to lose more money than the funds deposited in the account. For this reason, a margin account is only suitable for a sophisticated investor with a thorough understanding of the additional investment risks and requirements of trading with a margin. And guys, the reason we're talking about this margin account is because lots of us are low income. And by low income, I mean we do not have a large income available to us just to trade. You don't have $20,000 you can pull out of a savings or a Roth RIA to put into investing. You don't have that. I don't have that. And that's okay. In a year from now, you may have enough money saved. If we start right now with learning about savings, you may have enough that you are willing to risk a margin account a year from now. We started, guys, 35 days or 35 episodes ago. So it was a couple weeks ago. We're only a couple weeks into this. So in a year from now, next May, you don't underestimate yourself. You may be a sophisticated investor with a thorough understanding of the additional investment risks and requirements of trading with a margin. Don't count yourself out. Learn everything, because in a year from now, you are not going to be the same person. You are not going to think the same about money. And if I've done anything correctly, you are not going to have the same feelings about money that you do have now. So do not count anything out, guys, ever. Sometimes I find myself saying, I'll read something and I'll be like, oh, I'll never do that. Never say never, guys. We may make the most amount of money we've ever made on a margin account and not even think you are ever going to use a margin account. So count nothing out when it comes to money, guys. These rich people, and by rich, I mean the uber wealthy, guys. We're talking about the descendants of the 21 people who signed the Buttonwood Agreement, guys. We're talking about the uber duber rich, okay? They've been rich since the 1800s. They're still rich. They do things that we don't even know about. And don't count yourself out, because come a year from now or come 6 months from now, you might be doing those things like backflips, okay? So do not be afraid. A margin account may not be used for buying stocks on margin in an individual retirement account, a trust, or other fiduciary account. In addition, a margin account cannot be used with stock trading accounts of less than $2,000. So you have to put in at least $2,000, and then they would match it with another $2,000. You'd have $4,000 to trade on. Margin on other financial products. Financial products other than stocks can be purchased on margin. Future traders also frequently use margin, for example. With other financial products, the initial margin and maintenance margin will vary. Exchanges or other regulatory bodies set the minimum margin requirements. Although certain brokers may increase these margin requirements, that means the margin may vary by broker. The initial margin required on futures is typically much lower than for stocks. While stock investors must put up 50% of the value of a trade, future traders may only be required to put up 10% or less. So, see, my friends, there's always a way. Margin accounts are required for most options trading strategies as well. So I remember way back at the beginning, I wanted to learn about options trading. And see, margin accounts are required for most options trading strategies. So I wanted to get into this, but I never wanted a margin account. You see how those two things, they counteract each other? I can't dismiss anything. I have to be open to taking a margin account, to trading options, to trading futures, to trading stocks, all of it, guys. We are going to be open to all of the money, okay? So, an example of a margin account. Assume an investor with $2,500 in a margin account, they use the same example I did, wants to buy Nokia's stock for $5 per share. The customer could use additional margin funds of up to $2,500 supplied by the broker to purchase $5,000 worth of Nokia stock, or 1,000 shares. If the stock appreciates to $10 per share, which means it would double, the investor can sell the shares for $10,000. If they do so, after repaying the broker's $2,500 and not counting the original $2,500 they invested, the trader profits $5,000. That's what I said. If it doubles, you are going to get $5,000. Had they not borrowed funds, they would have only made $2,500 when their stocks doubled. By taking double the position, the potential profit was doubled. You guys see that? If they wouldn't have had this $5,000 worth, if they would have only bought $2,500 worth, it would have doubled to $5,000. Instead, they had enough to double it to $10,000, which means they got $5,000 after everything. Had the stock dropped to $250, though, all the customers' money would be gone. Since 1,000 shares is $250 at $250 is $2,500. The broker would notify the client that the position is being closed unless the customer puts more capital in the account. The customer has lost their funds and can no longer maintain the position. This is a margin call. The above scenarios assume there are no fees. However, interest is paid on the borrowed funds. If the trade took 1 year and the interest rate is 10%, the client would have paid 10% of the $2,500 or $250 in interest. Their actual profit is $5,000 less the $250 and any commissions that they had. Even if the client lost money on the trade, their loss is increased by the $250 plus commissions. So let's go back up here and say they lost their whole $2,500. They would have to pay that. They would lose their whole $25 plus the $250 and any commissions. So it's easy to see why investors want to help protect their portfolios from inflation. This is their Masterworks, guys. Masterworks is an exclusive community of investors who are capitalizing on an exclusive market. So this is a way to invest in art, and it is simply an advertisement from Investopedia. You guys can check it out on your own if you would like. I've looked at it before, but it is not necessary, and it has nothing to do with our learning. So before we move on to the news today, I have one other thing. I was using Think or Swim as my paper trader, guys. Think or Swim. And I only had a 60-day, it was like a 60-day trial. But I thought all paper trading was free, but it's not free. That's me, guys. Donna Potter. Because I'm magic with the money. But I could not get it to work anymore. So I don't know if I can't use Think or Swim anymore because it was a free trial. I can't even figure out how to pay for it, guys. They want me to open up like my trading account, and I don't want to do that yet. So I got to figure it out. And when I figure it out, I will let you know which paper trader is the best paper trader, because I thought that I was right and it was Think or Swim. But now I'm having second thoughts about Think or Swim. So I'm going to go this weekend and I'm going to figure out, or this whole weekend for the next couple days. I'm going to figure out Webull, Thinkorswim, and a couple of the other ones. And we are going to find a paper trader that we like, because it is time for us to get in there and start practicing exits and entrances, guys. We need to learn how to get in and get out of a sell. So that is it for margin accounts, guys. What is a margin account? A margin account is a brokerage account of borrowed money, guys. Lended cash from the brokerage, right? And it helps us increase our leverage, right? And that gives us more money to work with, which is a good thing, guys. Don't look at margin accounts as a bad thing. Like I said, we never know what we'll be doing a year down the road. So, stock slide with debt talks. Fed minutes in focus. Let me know in the chat what you guys think they're going to do with this debt ceiling. Is this just all another ruse to get us worried and they're just going to pass it at the last moment? Or do you actually think that we're going to go into default and lower our credit score as a country? Because that would be wild. I actually think it's all a ruse. This bank's going next, guys. PacWest goes next. We'll see it in the news. PacWest is going to get sold out to... Did you know that Chase is uber big now? PacWest sold some assets in a real estate lending business as it tries to bolster... You see how they talk, though, guys? This is Yahoo Finance. PacWest sold some assets of a real estate lending business. Now, let's hear the truth, guys. PacWest sold its entire arm of real estate. That's the truth, guys. PacWest didn't sell some of its assets of a real estate lending business. PacWest sold its entire arm of real estate. That's right. The bank sold its entire arm of real estate lending to another bank. Yeah. So, yep. It didn't lift their stock, huh? That's too bad. Stock looking pretty low down here, guys. This isn't like an active chart, so we can't see. But I think that this bank's going to go. It lost 17% of its deposits in the first quarter and posted a loss of $1.2 billion. Yeah, I think PacWest is going to go, guys. Big banks like Chase. Let's look it up in here because JP Morgan, what are they in the news for? Being the richest freaking bank ever. I have a personal dislike for this guy, Jamie Dimon. I don't know why, but every time I see him or read about him, it makes me angry. Maybe because he's tied into like gross things, you know, like abusing people. Like maybe I see him tied in with people like Epstein, and I don't like that. You know, I see JP Morgan Chase tied in with Epstein, people like Epstein, because they worked with him for 13 years. How do you provide services to somebody for 13 years and not know what they do on the side? Like, if I loaned somebody money for 13 years, I would know a little bit about them. That's all I know. And I don't like that connection. So, but guys, this is money talk, and it is okay to not like somebody and still invest in them. And that is why they invested in Jeffrey Epstein. They knew what he was doing, but they still invested in him because of what I just said. Money is money, guys. I might not like this guy, Jamie Dimon, but guess what? I will invest in his bank. I will invest my money to make more money. And that's what they did with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I know this guy is a dirtbag, but I'm still willing to invest money into the company that he's involved with. And that is capitalism. And that's why these guys are still dirtbags and they're still at the top, because you have to separate your feelings of liking somebody and your money. You have to separate them. So we end up with people at the top with a lot of money who are scumbags that nobody likes. They don't really like them, but I'll invest with them. And we end up with a capitalist society where the people at top are dirtbags. And then the people at the bottom are trying to be like the people at the top, which are dirtbags. So they invest over $200 million in an attempt to clean up the planet. Really? $200 million? How much did they... So, you guys, look how ridiculous this is. You guys see the banks. They're called Chase. All over the United States, guys. They build them. They pump all types of electricity out of them. They use our planet. They abuse our planet. And in one deposit, in one fell swoop, these guys at JP Morgan got $50 billion following the bank crisis. And you see how much they invest? $200 million to clean up the planet. In one fell swoop, in one bank transaction, guys, $50 billion. And they invested $200 million. Literally, guys, they couldn't invest $1 billion. Not even 1/50th of what they got, they couldn't invest. What percent did they invest, guys? I'm going to pull out my handy dandy little calculator. Get your guys yourself a little calculator. This is money talk. We need a little calculator. So if they got 50 billion, let's see, 200 million. Make sure we put enough zeros. My calculator don't have. Mine's an old calculator. Okay, so we have 200 million. If we divide that by 50 billion, that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, guys, my calculator isn't big enough. It's not enough. I don't have enough room for zeros. Oh, I can only do 5 billion. So, let's do it like this. We know that Google is smart, right? So this is 200 million. And then divided by, let's see if it does this. I don't know. We need 50 billion. We gotta make sure we have enough zeros here. That's 50 million. That's 50 billion. Oh, it gave us our answer. Look at it right there. Simple. Guys, that means if we move this over 1, 2, right? That's for percent. It's 0.4%, guys. So these guys gave 0.4%, not even 1%, 0.4% to attempt to clean up the planet. Out of one fell swoop, guys. This isn't 50 billion in a year. This isn't 50 billion that they've made. This is banks closed and JP Morgan got 50 billion in new deposits from the bank closing. I wonder why those banks close, guys. What do you think they closed for? Do you think they closed because JP Morgan was helping them out? You guys, JP Morgan is a king and he wanted more money. And then he did some crazy stuff, so we think they're good guys. They invested over 200 million. Oh, no. They invested less than 1% of one transaction to help clean up our planet, guys. Our planet, who big business is destroying. How many JP Morgan banks are there in the world? People think, well, it's a bank. They're not destroying the world. Okay, well, how many Chase banks are in USA? There are more than 4,700 branches, guys. Yeah, 4,700 branches. You know what that means? I'm going to show you. That means we have 50 states, right? 50 states. If you divide that by 4,700 branches, that means each state, 4,700 branches divided by the number of states will give you, there's at least 94 branches, well, on average, because some states, obviously, like California, are going to have more branches. But that means an average of 97, almost 100 branches per state. That's ridiculous, guys. 100 branches? And they're only giving $200 million in an attempt to clean up the planet. Do you think they only cause $200 million in damage when they have 4,700 banks that use electricity every single day, 4,700 banks that use the police system every single day, 4,700 banks that use our road systems every single day, and all that they could manage to invest in our country was 0.4%? It's absurd, you guys, and I'm going to tell you one more time why it keeps happening. This keeps happening because we allow it to happen. When we hear things like this, JP Morgan invests over $200 million in an attempt to clean up the planet after they have gotten $50 million in one fell swoop, billion dollars, excuse me. We should pull all of our money out of Chase. We should close down 4,700 banks because they don't care about our country. If we close down these 4,700 banks, we would have more electricity, guys. Less electricity going to a bank that doesn't need to be needed. Did you know that JP Morgan doesn't pay their people enough? 4,700 banks we would close down that are not paying their workers enough. The teller doesn't even make enough as a teller to live in the city that the bank lives in. How does that work, guys? And the banks have no oversight for it. When you ask one of these guys, if you were to ask Jamie Dimon, why do your tellers make $16 an hour at a bank that made $50 billion in one fell swoop? You want to know what he says? Well, I would have to look into it. You shouldn't have to look into it. Everybody that works at JP Morgan should make a living wage. And I mean a living wage, guys. I'm not talking about where you can't afford to take your kids to daycare. I'm talking about an actual living wage. And we're not getting it because we don't demand it. JP Morgan accuses U.S. Virgin Islands of harboring we were just talking about Jeffrey Epstein because they are suing JP Morgan. They got out of Barclays. Look at this crazy stuff. And we're still using them, guys. Barclays. Barclays is the biggest bank. Barclays and Epstein. Barclays is the biggest bank over there in the UK, right? Barclays is their big bank. So Barclays, is this it? They say Barclays knew about it. Yeah, they did. They noted the recent allegations made in the context. Where is it? Because they made these Barclays payment. They had to, yes. They made Barclays pay, guys, millions of dollars. So why? That guy, Jess Stately was a bad guy, guys. Where's their payout? Barclays, Epstein. Maybe it wasn't a payment. What do you call it? Fine? I just read it yesterday. They had to pay like $75 million, guys. Why isn't it in the news? Why isn't it easy to find? Oh. This isn't it. This isn't it. Why isn't it in the news, guys? Oh. I'm not making it up, guys. I read it yesterday. I read that Barclays had to pay $75 million for knowing that Jeffrey Epstein was a sex trafficker. Yeah, I read that yesterday. And that they are suing Chase for the same thing. A lawsuit. Epstein. Oop, not Frank. I don't even know who Frank is. Sorry, Frank, we're not after you today. Chase defends lawsuit by blaming U.S. Virgin Islands. They want to blame everybody but themselves. Well, I don't want to know about them. Now they want to blame this bank too. The douche bank. It's a douche bank. What is it? Douche bank. Douche bank. Oh man. I wonder why it's not on there. I really read it yesterday, guys, in an article. And I looked it up. This is crazy right here. And this is why we just don't, nobody knows about Epstein. Nobody cares. Nothing, but it's wrapped up with our banks. An attorney for the U.S. Virgin Islands pushed back against the company's move to shift focus to Staley. During a hearing on Friday, she said that current J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon also knew of the abuse. Jamie Dimon knew in 2008 that his billionaire client was a sex trafficker, Lou said. Staley knew, Dimon knew, J.P. Morgan Chase knew. That's what I'm talking about, guys. These people, they knew. They're dirty, but he was a billionaire and they wanted his money. So we have to be like them, guys, and be dirty, disgusting people for money. That's what in America, what it comes down to. If you want to be in the money, you have to be able to make decisions that make you a disgusto, like Jamie Dimon. Like you might have to invest in something that involves Jamie Dimon and be a disgusto because he's a disgusto. And that's okay. You cannot use your emotions. My emotions tell me that Jamie Dimon should be along with who else? Yeah, Staley. This guy. Staley, Jamie Dimon. They should probably go the same route Epstein went. That's how I feel. Anybody that had anything to do with Barclays? Oh, that's why it was Barclays, guys. Staley left J.P. Morgan when he was dealing with, that's what it was. That's where I heard Barclays. Because Staley, the guy, Jess Staley, that dealt with Epstein, went to Barclays. Yeah, that's where I read it. See, it does mention Barclays, but it does not say anything about the $75 million they had to pay. If my name was Barclays, I wouldn't want anybody knowing I paid that much money either. You know, I wouldn't want my name Barclays or anything to do with it. That's why they tried to put it all off on this guy, Jess Staley. But most likely, if, J.P. Morgan knew and Jamie Dimon knew and Jess Staley knew, Barclays knew, they all knew. Every single person knew. But they put their emotions away and they thought about money, guys. That's what rich people do. So if you want to be rich, that's what you have to do. It's okay. You have to be okay with the fact that J.P. Morgan is a disgusting business, and you have to be okay with investing in it. You have to be okay if Elon Musk, you don't like him, and still be able to buy his and invest in his stocks. And that's just what it is, guys. That is the emotional part that you have to. That does not mean that you have to think that these people are good people, or that you have to stop talking about it, or that you can't say that you're not for it. Just because you invest in the stock market does not mean that you're okay with anything going on with this. Nobody should be okay with what's going on with this, but that does not mean that you still can't invest, okay? You have to keep those two separate. Don't become a dirtbag. Just understand that you can still make money off of the dirtbags, okay? You cannot become a dirtbag and still make money off the dirtbags, okay? That's what you have to do. Unless you just don't want to deal with that, and then you go on being a poor person. Because if you do not invest your money, you are going to be a poor person. The further we get on in this timeline, guys, the worse it's getting. And I don't understand or know how to say it any other way than that. The further we get on in this timeline, the worse things are for the poor people. And pretty soon, guys, it's going to be so bad that you won't want to be one of those poor people. They're going to be starving to death. In America, guys, We are running out of food in our food banks. We're running out of food, guys. Food. You see how much it's expensive. You see how much things are moving around in the world. We're running out. We're running out of water. People laugh at me when I say we're running out of water, guys. Google it. They're making desalination things as we speak. We talked about this when we were little kids, guys. We asked our teacher, remember when you were a little kid and you had all that wonder in your brain and you asked your teacher, teacher, what happens if we run out of water? What about all the oceans? And the teacher said, well, we could desalinate the water. That means we take the salt out of the water and we drink salt water, right? But it's very expensive. And you know what else it does? It destroys the earth. It destroys the earth. You are not supposed to desalinate the sea. Don't do it. Stop desalinating the ocean. It's destroying the ocean, guys. That salt comes out. The salt goes into the land. We're destroying our land. Anyway, we're there, guys. We are in the future. USA, desalination, guys. We got it. This is the future. 10 largest desalination plants in the U.S. You look at them. Look at them, guys. They're all right here. California. All the floods in the world. I mean, all of the opposite of floods, guys. When it's dry, you know. So dry. Look, we got one up here. Ooh, Pacific Northwest got themselves a little desalination plant. I didn't even know about it. What? Anyway, look at these. Let's look at these. Look, what does this say? Desalination, guys. We're going to run out of water. Nobody's going to care. So, that's it. That is it for today. That's all that I can handle for the day. Because you guys know how the news gets me all riled up. And then all these electric vehicles, guys. One more thing before we go. How are we going to keep getting lithium and stuff for these electric vehicles? Let me know. How are we going to do it? We're not going to do it, guys. It's not going to happen. So, and if it does happen, okay, let me rephrase, guys. That's not going to happen easily, because just because something can happen does not mean it's going to be easy or great for us. So, they got rebates on the Bud Light now. I don't know if I believe this. What's Anheuser-Busch's clicker? There's an AB. No, that wasn't Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch. What was it? What was their ticker? Oh my God. Where's their ticker? Why are we in entertainment? Oh my gosh. This is... Oh, it's a Bud. Bud Light. Okay, let's look at their 5-year. So this was... So did they also do something crazy here too, guys? When it was down at $57? You know, this was back in January of 2019. How about in 2020? Did they do something here too to make people mad? To make the Republicans kids angry? What did they do in June of 2020, guys? Oh, that was called the pandemic, right? Come on, guys. It really hasn't went down that much. People are tripping. This up here, of course it went. You know when this was? 2016. So if we look, let's look. I think they're lying to us, guys. I think they're lying to us hardcore. That whole, where is that? Bud Light. They're saying, when did the Bud Light controversy start? Bud Light Contro start? April 1st. Okay, it started on April 1st of 2023. Let's find it. Okay. So, guys, here we go. Are you ready? This controversy that they're saying because of this whole situation, they're saying it began on April 1st, right? Guys, they're also saying that their stocks went down. Now, here is their moving average. You guys see the moving average? Now, do you see how it was well below the moving average in 2020? Guys, this is the stuff you need to know. Don't believe the news. They always lie to you about the stock market. This is why we're learning this, so we can do this on our own. So we come in here in 2020. Do you see where the stocks were at? $54, $53, $50, $43, $41. This is back in 2020, guys, when everything, in 2020, everything else, I don't know why beer wasn't, but everything else was crazy. Everything was crazy. We were home in 2020, guys. We're sitting here. This right here, we're sitting here, guys. We're sitting here at home just sitting. Okay? 2020, now this is winter. We're back out. Look, bud, it's selling, guys. People are back at bars. This is why it was low. Nobody was at bars, guys. You see that? 2020. This is when we found out. 2020, people couldn't go to bars. Bam, bam, bam. Nobody's at bars. Nobody's drinking Bud Light, guys. That is not... Now, do you see how we're at the moving average? This means that the stocks have stayed pretty much the same. Now we're into 2021. Stocks are doing good. People are back at the bar. Has nothing to do with this controversy. Nothing yet, right? We're still in a moving average. Moving average, moving average, moving average. Oh, look at... It's 2022, and we're down here at $45, guys. $45, $55. The highest it went up to in 2022 was $62. Guys, we're back there at $66 in 2023. Let's look at the date. Where's that date? January 1-1. Where is it? 1-1. 3-1. We're almost there, guys. We're almost at the controversy. Are you ready? There we go. Here's your controversy. This is when that Dylan Mulvaney controversy happened, guys. You see Bud Light crying? Do you see them above their moving average? Do you see them dropping down where they were in 2022? Do you see where they were in 2020? Do you see where they were in 2021? Here's the moving average, guys. Anheuser-Busch is not losing money. Anheuser-Busch is exactly where Anheuser-Busch has been for the last 3 years, people. Since 2019, since the beginning of 2020 when we stopped going to bars, Anheuser-Busch dropped down then. It tried to make its way back up come 2021, but it's been this big dip. This was in 2022, guys. Do not believe the news when they tell you that they've lost all this money. Yes, they didn't sell some of their Bud Light, guys, but Anheuser-Busch, you guys want to see what Anheuser-Busch sells? Oh, I don't know why I can't click on that top one. Budweiser, Michelob, Beck's, Bud Light, Natural Light, Elasian, Stella, Corona, but the Corona, guys, Bud Light, Goose Island, Bud Light, Michelob, Bud Dry, Shock Top, Kerbach, Lef, Rolling Rock, Modelo, AB, Elysian, Bud. Like, get out of here, guys. Are you telling me that just because Bud Light had some type of controversy that they're not going to sell Michelob, that they're not going to sell Corona, that they're not going to sell Goose Island Brewery or freaking, where is it, Elasian? Elasian, guys, one of the most strongest beers that there are. What is it, 8% alcohol or something? You think they're not going to sell these? They're not. Hey, guys, you guys remember when you were like, Bud Light ain't good no more, but we could get Miller. Hey, guess who? Look who makes Miller. The same people. So when people were like, I ain't drinking Bud Light no more, I'm going to go get me a Natty or a Miller or a Modelo or a Corona or a Stella. Guess what? You got Anheuser-Busch. The same company did all of it. It doesn't make any sense. Stop listening to the news. The news is there to separate us. It doesn't matter what kind of beer you drink, what your sexual preference is, what your money, your monetization of yourself is. None of that matters in the stock market. Do not buy stock because of hateful people. And hateful on either side. I don't care what you believe in or what side you're on. Do not buy or sell your stocks simply because of hateful people. If you don't want to drink Bud anymore, you better still invest in AB, because I'm telling you, it's good. Very good, guys. Very good. Very good. You guys look at this. You see this? This is sticking with the moving average. This is what we study, guys. Is coming down to the moving average. It's not even below it yet. There is nothing since this happened that shows that they have lost money, guys. They're higher than they were in 2022. So stop believing the news and start learning about money. That's my goal, and that is my challenge for all of you guys. Hope you guys had a great day. My pup is starting to whine. She is ready for Money Talk to be done. So I will see you guys all next time. Same place, same time. Oh, yes, tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thursday, guys. I will be here tomorrow. I have a field trip to the planetarium tomorrow. I'm so excited. So I'll be here in the morning, planetarium in the afternoon. So be here or be square, guys. Tomorrow, money. Learn it.